In the wake of the attempted assassination of Trump, there's a lot of backlash against some of the negative voices that have called, I don't know if they've full on called for violence, but many Democrats have implied it by calling Trump Hitler. And what do you do to Hitler? Among them is Ana Navaro. And she is partly responsible, I believe. If rhetoric is something that we have to be responsible for, inciting violence, then the Democrat Party, CNN, Ana Navaro, The View are guilty. I'm not asking for revenge. I'm asking for justice. I'm only saying if you said that Trump is guilty of inciting violence for saying we must peacefully and patriotically make our voices heard, then you guys are guilty of much worse rhetoric than that. And the fallout, that's part of the fallout that we're all dealing with. We're united as Americans. We do not call for violence, ever. We have a political solution. We can publicly say things. Be very careful in the chat, please. Many chat comments are being removed. If you know what you can't say. So just be respectful of this channel and be as positive as you can. I know I told a guy today on Twitter, I go, if you want us to unite, then stop trying to shoot our candidate. So there is a place for mourning, especially for that civilian that got shot and killed and died. We mourn with them. But the internet right now is blowing up saying, who's responsible? What happened? Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. As we have been a long time critic of The View and Ana Navaro.
So where do you think we'll be 24 hours from now?
I have no idea, and I think nobody knows.
That was recorded before the assassination attempt, and she goes, I have no idea. Little did they know how quickly events turn.
But I do know what's happening on the Republican side. And you've got an increasingly emboldened, out of control Donald Trump, who's not being taken into account, who's not being called to task.
So now we see, this is the narrative that the left was going with, that Trump and his followers are out of control and emboldened. Okay. And this is inappropriate. This is not, they're not going to be doing this anymore. Although Wolf Blitzer tried to do the both sides things, both sides need to tone down their rhetoric. Possible, we will be more careful with our rhetoric, but don't blame Republicans, the right, or conservatives, or even gun owners for what happened to Trump. Okay. That's a leftist. Same thing with the one that targeted and got shot at Scalise and other GOPers. The New York congressman, is it Lee Unken? I forgot. But that was also a Democrat lunatic. So it's mostly leftist so far. This is the only evidence that we have of actual violence. What Trump did on January 6th did not incite violence. And what Biden said was much worse when Biden said it's time to put Trump in the target. He said that 5 days ago. We're going to get into that too, on how he could be indicted for manslaughter. And I don't want to, again, and I'm also not indulging any conspiracies. So I know that more facts will come out, but let's be careful and cautious first.
Because we are all focusing on what's going on the Democratic side. It's taking out all the oxygen.
And now the focus is even more on the Democrat side for the lack of Secret Service protection of the president. Is Biden, the head of the Secret Service, will likely have to step down. I think they should go after Alejandro Mayorkas and Merrick Garland too, for failure to properly secure, and Christopher Wray, head of the FBI, huge failure. We're going to do more of those failures later.
In the last week, we've seen what's happened to people around Donald Trump. Rudy Giuliani disbarred. Steve Bannon went to jail, went to prison. Nobody talking about that.
Yeah, no one's talking about it because they're starting to see what you guys are doing, what you cause. Your rhetoric is far more indicative of a problem than our rhetoric.
Nobody talking about how Donald Trump has pretty much gotten immunity from the Supreme Court now. And this is the guy who's calling for retribution and vengeance and wants to be a dictator for one day.
Yes, dictator for one day is a huge improvement to the guy we have now who's been a dictator for 4 years.
So this guy, vengeance, retribution, Donald Trump, now thinks he's got immunity. What could go wrong? And we're not focusing on any of that because of these throes of agony going on the Democratic side. From where I stand, as somebody who does not want to see Donald Trump elected under any circumstance.
Under any circumstance, once again, that's a call to violence. They'll do anything, make him into a felon. They can throw him in prison.
I would just like Democrats to figure it out and figure it out quickly.
I like how dumb Democrats are. They're always going like, I just want the big people up top to figure it out. Look, the Republicans go like, this is our party. This is our country. I take responsibility. We do the work. We will call you out. We'll tell you what we want. And the Democrats are going like, I hope this is same with Joy Reid. They're like, you all just figure it out. And then you just tell me what to do because we're not used to thinking. We don't have our faculties. We don't think critically.
If it's Biden, fine. If it's Harris, fine. If it's Clint Eastwood's empty chair, fine. If it's any empty chair, fine.
If it's Biden in a coma, fine. They would have continued with Biden, dragging his weekend at Bernie's body around all the way to election day if they were not caught. Remember that. They're not upset that he can't perform the duties as president. They're upset that the wool put over your eyes has been ripped off. That's the only thing they're upset about. They're going, look, just throw some other dumb mannequin puppet up there named Kamala Harris and we'll all fall in line and vote accordingly.
But let's just focus on what it is and what we've got to do to make sure that Donald Trump does not get reelected. The Democratic convention is in 6 weeks. So the time is running out to make these changes. There's a lot of procedural, legal, FEC issues that have to be sorted out if you're talking about changing a candidate. This is not like changing a boyfriend in high school.
I love when the Democrats pretend like they follow their own rules. They have no respect for those rules. They're going to perform an insurrection. They're going to do a complete workaround of the votes, the electors that Biden already has, 1,000 of them. They're going to negate that. All the donor money, there's billionaires right now. Rahm Emanuel's brother, I think it's Ari Emanuel, is talking in Hollywood, furious that he gave millions to Biden and no one told him the true condition of Biden, and they're furious. Their party's in ruin. Let's celebrate before they reconstitute.
This entails an enormous amount of things that need to get done. And I don't think people are thinking about that. There's ballots being printed. There's primaries that have happened. Different states have different regulations.
There's ballots being printed with the selection of Biden already checked. Did I say that out loud?
So there's a time that's going to come when making this change, people think there's going to be a white knight that comes out of the sky. Well,
one thing we know is it won't be a white knight if it's coming from the Democrats. Ana Navaro has said violent rhetoric, calling Trump Hitler. And that's what we can't unsee. You can't make us unsee that, Anna. And that kind of stuff is going to end now. And that's good because Trump was never a threat to our democracy. They say he's a threat to our democracy. We're just showing this video to document what they said. And that is the news on the internet this morning, is what they said. I'd love to hear what you guys say in the chat. If you have anything positive to focus on, especially on the patriots in America, that we're uniting around Trump, that Trump survived, that it could have been so much worse, that we are going to mourn together with his family who lost the citizen who lost their life because the bullet went through Trump's ear. Calm heads prevail. A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control. I have to make one correction too. Yesterday on the live stream, we misnamed the shooter. So we said it was this Italian blogger guy. It's not him. His actual last name is Crooks, which I don't intend to repeat to give him any more notoriety than he has. But I just wanted to make that correction also. Thanks for hanging with us. I'm Doug in Exile.